Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a new HISUIAN Pokemon, HISUIAN Braviary. HISUIAN Braviary is a Psychic and Flying type Pokemon with the moveset of Air Slash, Psychic, and Brave Bird. HISUIAN Braviary is only Great League eligible by trade, so today I'll be trying it out in the Ultra League with some practice battles from members of my Discord. And for a Pokemon that is ranked lower than XL Gumshoes, honestly, I'm a little scared to try it. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, check out HISUIAN Braviary in action in the Ultra League. Hopping into the first match, picking up a great lead Scrafty into Shadow Wall Rain. Opponent save switches into Swampert, and honestly, I don't have a great response to Swampert, so I'm just going to stay in here with Scrafty for the time being. I'm able to land the Foul Play, which is quite nice, and I should be able to tank 2 Hydro Cannons. The first one comes through, I'm going to farm up, go for the Foul Play, but I do lose CMP. I should be able to tank Hydro Cannon number 2 here. I'm able to survive it on pretty low HP, and then I'm going to fire off this second Foul Play. Foul Play goes unshielded, and I'm able to take out Swampert. In the back is Trevenant, and I immediately switch into Talonflame. Trevenant is going to be able to outpace here. I will respect the Shadow Ball, but they bait me with a Seed Bomb, and then back in comes the Shadow Wall Rain. Shadow Wall Rain does not have to respect the first Flame Charge, but after I land one, they're going to have to start shielding, because this damage is only increasing from here. They're going to be firing off the Icicle Spear. I do live this, but it is going to be getting me deep into the red, and then I'm going to start firing off even more Flame Charges. Flame Charge gets the shield. I'm going to try and get to the next. Opponent does not want to let that happen, and they're going to be firing off the Icicle Spear. I'm going to bring in Scrafty, looking for the farm down. I'm not quite able to get there, and now it's all up to HISUIAN Braviary. Can we farm down? HISUIAN Braviary is extremely slow to get the charge moves, so my only hope is a farm down. This could be the Shadow Ball. I get baited. This is scary. Can we farm down? They get to a move. Were they able to get to the Shadow Ball? They were not. We tank the Seed Bomb. We farm down the Wall Rain. And that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, picking up a pretty decent lead Scrafty into Registeel. Opponent save switches into Poliwrath, and I respond with HISUIAN Braviary. HISUIAN Braviary is hitting for super effective damage against the Poliwrath, but Poliwrath can return fire with the Ice Punch. I'm trying to get to the Psychic, but I do get outpaced. Psychic is some Pokemon's nuke move, but for Braviary, this is the best option it has for a bait move, as Ominous Wind just basically doesn't do any damage. Able to take out the Poliwrath, back in comes Registeel. I'm building up, and I'm going for the Brave Bird. Braviary, hopefully Brave Bird is going to hit pretty hard here, but unfortunately it does not hit particularly hard, which is unfortunate. They go for the Focus Blast. Thanks to my debuff, that's still enough to KO. I bring in the Scrafty, I go for the Pup Bait, and they end up catching it onto Deoxys. That is quite unfortunate, but I'm going to be staying in here, because a lot of Deoxyses in the Ultra League are running Rock Slide instead of Thunderbolt, meaning they have no way to hit me for neutral damage with their charge moves. So I'm going to stay in here and check the moveset. I'm not going to be shielding here. I'm expecting Rock Slide, and it is Rock Slide. That's big. I'm going to be firing off the Foul Play. This will do a solid chunk of damage because I am boosted, able to get my opponent quite low. Going for the Power Up Punch. They do not want to let that happen, and they fire off the Psycho Boost. And now I'm going to go for the farm down, but they reset their debuff, and they bring in Registeel. I do need to shield up the Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon would be hitting for massive damage here, and now I am all out of shields. This is going to be tough. I'm going to fire off the Flame Charge into the Registeel. Flame Charge takes down the Registeel. The question is, can Defense Deoxys get to 2 moves here? This is going to be close. They have a shield, so I just have to go for the farm down. Talonflame just cannot farm down. Deoxys reaches the last second Psycho Boost, and we lose a heartbreakingly close match. Hopping into the next match, sending Scrafty into Shadow Machamp. Terrible lead. I'm going to save switch into the Braviary, and I am met with an Aggron. Absolute worst case scenario. I'm just going to go for the Brave Bird here, just to try and minimize Aggron's farm. The only positive thing I can say about how this game is going so far is at the very least, Talonflame is not going to have to see that aggron. But my poor HISUIAN Braviary just gets absolutely deleted. Thankfully, I do get a nice amount of farm onto Scrafty. They bring back in the Machamp, and I'm going to start ramping up my power-up punches because I am still switch locked in here. So I'm going to be firing off yet another power-up punch onto the Machamp. I'm able to get a shield, and then I'm going to bring in my Talonflame, and in the back, they have a Purified Tangrowth. With a shield advantage, I should be in a pretty nice spot here. I shield up. They throw a Power Whip, which suddenly makes me think they could be running Power Whip and Return. My Discord members do sometimes run some interesting movesets. I'm able to take them out, and back in comes the Shadow Machamp. Tough call to make here. I shield last second, and it's the Rock Slide. That is an absolutely huge call. I'm going to be firing off the Flame Charge. Flame Charge does get the shield. Talonflame, not able to farm down, but I still have the Scrafty. Can Scrafty take a counter here? Yes, it can, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, picking up a slightly negative lead, Scrafty into Shadow Nidoqueen. Honestly, I don't have a great response to Nidoqueen on the team, so I'm just going to stay in here with Scrafty at the very least to start and try and do as much damage as possible. I am able to get a shield, which is quite nice. They easily have enough for the Earth Power here. I call it, but it is the Earth Power, so I'm forced to bring in Talonflame. They're going to be able to fire off a Poison Fang, and then we'll have to see what they have in the back, and they bring in Umbreon. I do have a shield advantage here, which is quite nice. I try and go for a CMP tie, but they end up going for an extra, so my timing doesn't end up being the best. I should be able to live a foul play here, and then I'm going to try and reach the Brave Bird. Unfortunately, I'm not quite able to do so. My poor timing comes back to bite me, and I'm forced to commit the shield, and then I am going to be firing off the Brave Bird. Brave Bird is going to be doing a ton of damage. I aggressive switch into the Braviary, and I'm able to Air Slash down, and in the back is Scrafty. We have a flying type going up against a counter user. Surely this must be a good matchup. I shield up, and I even correctly shield the foul play. Surely we're going to be able to get to 2 moves before they get to 2 foul plays. I'm going to go for the Psychic here, because Psychic is not going to debuff me. I get the shield, and they're at a second foul play. Foul play nearly takes down the Braviary, and as you can see, Braviary is a flying type that loses to a Scrafty, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, letting Scrafty into Incineroar, a very nice lead. And even better, the Incineroar is staying in. They're farming up energy, they save switch into a Togekiss, and I'm going to immediately respond with Talonflame. I'm going to farm up until right before they get to an Ancient Power, and then go for a Flame Charge bait. I'm hoping the threat of a Brave Bird gets a shield, and it does, as my opponent really wanted to get off that Ancient Power. Since they shielded, I'm more than happy to shield as well, and then I'm going to overfarm quite a bit, and then fire off the Flame Charge. This, now that it's boosted, will easily be enough to take out the Togekiss. Back in comes Incineroar, and they fire off the Dark Pulse just before I'm able to reach the Brave Bird. Very nicely timed. Back in comes Scrafty though, and Scrafty is absolutely loaded on energy here. I do get the shield, which is quite nice, and now I'm just going to do what Scrafty does best, continuing to power up punch after power up punch, doing more and more and more damage. We'll have to see what they have in the back. It's a Venusaur, and Braviary is going to be able to clean up here, even if they go for the Sludge Bomb or if they go for the Frenzy Plant. Either way, we're in a good spot. They go for the Frenzy Plant, recognizing they do need 2 moves, but it's not going to be enough. Braviary does something useful, takes down a Venusaur, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, sending Scrafty into Dragalge. This is honestly a core breaker for the team, so I kind of need to stay in here with Scrafty at the very least to start. I'm going to be going straight for the foul play, as this will do a lot of damage if it lands, which it does. I'm going to farm up, and then basically just try and sack the HISUIAN Braviary. At this point, it's not doing a whole lot, so we're going to use it as damage fodder to just tank a gunk shot and get farmed down. In comes Shadow Snorlax, and now Scrafty can get to work. I'm just going to start firing off power-up punch after power-up punch. Let's start ramping up the damage from this Scrafty. I will shield up just because I do want to try and get this Snorlax lower. So I am going to be firing off another power-up punch. I should be able to farm down if they let it go, but they do commit the shield and they're able to reach another body slam. I should be able to tank this, so I'm going to let this go, and then bring in Talonflame. Talonflame is able to farm down, and at this point, it all depends what's in back, and it's Walrein. I'm just going to keep farming up here. They bring in Dragalge, and I'm going to be firing off the Flame Charge. Flame Charge is going to be close to KOing here. Not quite, but I'm able to incinerate down. They have a lot of energy, but so do I. This is going to be very, very close. They go for the Icicle Spear. I tank it, and I am full sending it. I am going straight for the Brave Bird here. Brave Bird does get shielded. I try and switch out. My switch clock is not up, and I end up dying with the move. I could have just hit the Brave Bird, but I thought I had to switch out to avoid being farmed down, and that is a heartbreaking end to a very close match. And we have a bit of a fun match in this final game, leading Scrafty into Chandelure. Honestly, a bit of an awkward matchup for both parties, but I'm going straight for the foul play here, hoping they decide to call it, and they do. We take them out, and there's a Stoutland in the back. So this battler was clearly trying to hard counter HISUIAN Braviary in the back, but since they called the bait, now Scrafty is going to absolutely feast. I'm going to be shielding up the Wild Charge, and they have Aggron in the back as well. I'm just going to farm down the Aggron, get the Stoutland low, bring in HISUIAN Braviary. Look at how useful HISUIAN Braviary truly is, and that is a good game. Final thoughts on HISUIAN Braviary in PvP. I would not recommend using it. It has a very cool shiny, so if you end up raiding it to try and get the shiny, that's great. But in terms of PvP, it's ranked below XL Gumshoes for a reason. Unfortunately, it's just really not the best. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.